Hi, and welcome back to English Lessons with Stephanie. This is speaking lesson 11. In today's lesson, we'll work on the grammar and pronunciation of tag questions, and then we'll go on to conversation about small talk and how to prolong conversations to make them longer. Remember these speaking tips on the right. First of all, relax. You'll speak better when you feel relaxed. Secondly, speak as loudly as you would normally. This will help you make good habits. And finally, remember that it's okay to make mistakes. We're just trying to do a little bit better than we did last time. Before we begin, let's take a minute to set some goals for today's speaking lesson. What do you hope to improve? Is it pronunciation, fluency, accuracy, variety, or mastery? Setting these goals will help us to focus a little bit more when speaking. We'll start here with pronunciation of inflections. Inflections means how your voice goes up or down when you're talking. When you inflect up, your voice goes up at the end of a sentence. This happens at the end of most questions, like, do you know the answer? Here, our voice goes up to show that we're asking a question. Do you know the answer? Sometimes we ask questions, but we inflect down. This is when your voice goes down at the end of a sentence. This would happen if we are asking an angry question, like, do you know the answer? So let's talk. Ask these two questions inflecting up and inflecting down. In grammar lesson 11, we worked on tag questions. And in these questions, we can also inflect up or down to show different meanings. Let's start with inflecting up. This will show we're unsure or we want someone to agree with you. You know the answer, don't you? The meaning here is, I don't know if you know. Or, you don't care, do you? The meaning here is, you believe the person doesn't care. Or, Elmo's so nice, isn't he? The meaning is, you think Elmo is nice. Next, let's try the downward inflection. This will show that you're pretty sure about something or you're angry. You could say, you know the answer, don't you? Meaning, I think you know the answer. Or, you don't care, do you? Meaning you're angry that the person doesn't care. Or, Elmo's so rude, isn't he? That means you think Elmo is rude. So let's talk. Pause the video and try out these tag questions inflecting up and inflecting down. Next, try pronouncing these tag questions, inflecting up and inflecting down. Okay, now let's move on to creating our own tag questions. Here, you're going to make small talk using tag questions for these situations. The first situation is, you're waiting for the bus, it's a warm and sunny day. What kind of small talk could you make in this situation using tag questions? Or, you're at the beach, it's quite cold, and you're not warmly dressed, but your children are having a great time. Or, you're at a birthday party for your friend Liz. Everyone loves Liz. People are swimming in the pool, eating food, and watching Liz open a few gifts. Liz's wife, Gabby, threw the party. Or, you're taking a history class with Professor Sanchez, who wrote her own textbook for the class. In that day's class, she gave an interesting talk and canceled class the following week. She told the students to use the extra time to work on their class projects. So pause the video and try to make small talk using tag questions in these situations. Here are some of the questions that you could have come up with. Okay, now that we've talked about how to create some of your own questions, now let's imagine that you would like to answer these questions in order to continue the conversation. So let's take the first example. If someone says to you, the bus is taking forever, isn't it? You could do three things. First, you could agree and repeat what they said using different words. Yes, the bus is always late. Secondly, you could add another tag question. Yes, they should have more buses, shouldn't they? Or, thirdly, you could add some personal information. Yes, I'm going to be late for my appointment. Or to take another example, if someone says, it's a lovely day, isn't it? You could say, oh yes, this warm weather is great. Or, yes, but we could use some rain, couldn't we? Or, actually, I prefer the cold weather. I grew up in a cold climate, so I'm used to it. Now it's your turn. Using the tag questions we created, imagine if someone is talking to you and you can answer these questions by agreeing and repeating, agreeing and disagreeing and adding another tag question, or agreeing or disagreeing and adding some personal information. So pause the video and try to answer these questions. Let's continue by practicing some more small talk. Here are some other topics that you could use: nature, surroundings, or local events, movies and TV shows, news, sports, and technology. These are all common ways to have a light conversation with someone. So let's talk. Try to create your own questions for some of these topics. Finally, let's talk about disagreements. Think about a disagreement you've had. Describe what you and the other person disagreed about. If you're a beginner English speaker, you could say something like this, basic example. My friend and I disagree about basketball players. I think Steph Curry is the best, and she thinks LeBron James is the best. If you're more advanced, you could say something like, my friend and I disagree about who the best basketball player is. So, let's talk. Tell me about a disagreement you had and what it was about. So that's it for today. Great work. Speaking is really hard, but remember to just keep practicing. Practice with yourself, practice with your friends, your family, your pets, or even just by yourself. So this is the end of English Class 11. If you're enjoying these free classes, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks, and see you next time.